They can hold the door open for you. They can help you, you know, you're trying to lift something up, they can give you a hand to help lift your things. They are nice, like super nice, but are they friendly? Everything everyone, welcome back. It's another time in my channel. It's good to have you over. So on today's episode, I promised you all in the last video I made that I was going to be making my 1 year experience having been in Canada for 1 year. So that's what I'm going to be talking about in today's video. All the pros, all the cons, all the, you know, the good side and the not so good side, you know, like everything has its pros and cons, its advantages and its disadvantages, sort of. So I'm going to be talking about everything in today's video. So if you have not subscribed yet to the channel, do hit the subscribe button, do hit the notification button, do not forget to leave your lovely comments, and I hope this video gets to as many people as possible, especially those of you that are trying to come into the country, so you can know what to expect. All right, without much ado, let's get straight in. So I have my because I jotted some things I want to talk about. I don't just want to talk about things offhand. That's why I have my laptop here, so I'm going to be taking a peek at it so as not to miss my points, guys. Okay, you all know this YouTube thing is not a part and parcel of me yet. We're just trying. So let's go straight into it. So now, just for you guys to know, I'm going to be talking about the good side and the bad side, but I'm not going to be talking about them in any order. I'm just going to be talking them based off of what I've, you know, jotted down here. There is no sequence. There is no the good side first, the bad side. No, everything is just going to come all together. Okay, but I'm going to say it as much as possible so you guys can understand me properly. All right, so let's get straight into it. So the first thing I wrote down here was cost of living. So cost of living here in Canada. Now, when I say cost of living, I'm talking about cost of food, cost of clothing, cost of travel, like buses and stuff. So cost of living here, I wouldn't say it's too bad, because I mean, where do you live that you're not going to have to spend, right? So let's say, for example, I'm not a family person, I'm here as a single person. So I think I'm going to be giving example as a single person, right? Because that's only what I know about. That's only what I've experienced. So as a single person, if you're going to be using the public transport, say the bus. So bus here is $83 per month for the bus for the bus ticket, which is going to take you for the whole month. So you should factor your especially if you don't have a car, if you don't have a personal car of your own, so you should be thinking of getting your bus ride to and fro wherever you're going. So you should factor that into your expenses, and also you wouldn't be needing too much. So overall, I'll say cost of living is actually a bit high now compared to, you know, years back, based on my research before coming to Canada, and, you know, based off of what other people who has been living here have been seeing, that this recent years that there has been a lot of increase in regards to cost of living. So yeah, I'll say cost of living is high, cost of housing is high, and whatnot. Now that's gonna take us straight right into cost of housing. So cost of housing here, it's really high. I'm not even going to exaggerate, like it's actually high. Let's face the facts. Now, you say you want to rent an apartment, you're looking for a 1 bed or a bachelor's, you should be having nothing less than $8,500, $1,500 a month, guys, a month. So now, that is why you see many people living in shared apartments, because it's a bit cheaper. And even with they living in shared apartments, they pay nothing less than $900. Some are fortunate to pay $800 a month in a shared apartment. So what is a shared apartment? A shared apartment, you'll be sharing the living room, the kitchen, the bathroom with other people in the house. So you get to have your own room. But in some other instances, some people still find it difficult to pay for their housing, so they even have to share that one room with 1 or 2 other people. That is how bad it can get with housing here. It is actually expensive. So I'll say the benchmark you should be cutting off, or you should be expecting to pay for rent, is between $900 to $1,000 if you want to have your own room here in Halifax. I don't know about other provinces, but I know other bigger provinces are more expensive. Here in Halifax, it is something else. So cost of housing, it's on the rise. So I know some will say, how am I going to do that? Well, I would say if you're looking to get into something, if you're looking to the future, these are sacrifices you have to make. But before you come, I'm going to tell you, make your research. All right. So now I'm going to talk about this, especially this housing thing, because it's the biggest problem we have here. It's the biggest problem we have here in Canada. Now, it's not going to be too difficult for you if you've been paying expenses from your home country. Like if you've been, I don't know, some of you who live in family homes and don't pay rent, it's going to be a bit difficult for you to like start paying rent. It's going to be a bit difficult for you if you've never paid rent before, and you just all of a sudden you come to a new country and you have to start paying a huge amount of money. And one tip I'm going to tell you guys,
do not convert, because that is going to kill you.
Don't even try converting your dollar to naira to know how much you're spending. Don't even do it. It's like abort mission. So that is that for housing. Housing is really expensive. Like you should be budgeting like 900 to 1,000 as a single person per month to pay your rent. Now that is cost of living and cost of housing. So let's go over to the weather. So Canadian weather is like on and off. I don't even know how to say it. So normally, now I came last year, right, during summertime, and summer last year was pretty cool. It was sunny, it was cool, right? So the weather I experienced last year when I came, because I remember lamenting this weather feels like Harmattan period. So last year when I came, it was more like Harmattan period. Okay, that was what I experienced last year for summer. Now, but this year has been what I don't understand. So this year it rained a lot. We had a lot of rainfall this year. I don't even know why and how, but there's a lot of rainfall. This summer, this year was not even summer. It was from sun to rain to cold, and the cycle repeats itself. So Canada weather is harsh. Don't let anyone deceive you. Canada weather is harsh. So if you're a newcomer, I'm going to advise you have a sweater or a cardigan in your bag, even if it appears to be sunny. Because if it appears to be sunny and warm, before you know it, it's going to get cold. Before you know it, it's going to start raining. So just be prepared always, all the time, so you don't get caught unawares. Okay. So now when it comes to winter is really harsh. So personally, it was really harsh last year for me, and at a point I almost rethink my journey coming here. It was really, really harsh. The cold was extreme. So I don't know about you, but for me, all through the winter last year and early this year, winter was this year, right? Yeah, the snow, it fell. Okay, no, snow started falling last year and it came on heavily this year. So for me, during the winter, my hands were hurting so bad, like my fingers were hurting so bad. So that is one symptom you get before you start having frostbite. So I realized I could get frostbite easily. So for some of you who have noticed, or you're not good with cold and all that, I would advise during winter time, or in fact before winter, start getting winter clothes, winter gadgets. Get your thermal gloves, like those gloves that insulate, that gives you heat, that makes you warm. Get them. Get those thermal wears. You can get these things cheaper during summertime, during the fall season, before winter comes, because when winter comes, they are going to be more expensive. So you have to be prepared, because when you start getting these pains and aches on your fingers, on your toes, that is not going to be good if you don't protect yourself. I learned this the hard way because I suffered it a lot. Anyways, so let's go straight to talking about something else. We've talked about the weather. Now I'm going to be talking about job. So there are jobs in Canada, but if you ask someone else, they will tell you there are no jobs in Canada. Now I'm going to tell you it's based on what kind of job you're looking for, right? Before now, people who have been living here in Canada for like years ago, they will tell you, oh, there has been jobs, but with the new influx of students, new people, immigrants, they keep complaining that there are no more jobs. Granted, I know a few people who are still looking for jobs currently, Like the whole job market is saturated with so many people, such that they've begun to underpay people even. So that's another thing. There are jobs and there are also no jobs. So that is why I'm going to say, if you're looking for a job, don't just be looking for a job in one particular field or in one particular company. Just spread your tentacles, spread wide and open, because you don't know where you might get something useful, right? And now for job, here I'm gonna be saying this for those back home. I know it is a general thought, it's something everyone thinks about, especially people back home, because they don't really know how it is here because they've not been here. I know at some point when I was back home, I felt, oh, it's gonna be easy to like get all the money here, be rich. Once anybody's abroad, they are deemed and viewed as being rich. Hold up, guys, that's not the case. Okay, so here, living here, you get to know you. Any dollar you make, any dollar you have, rather, it is something you made on your own. No one gives you any money. No one gives you any cents. No one dashes you, oh, take my dear, oh, take this money, just like you have back home. Somebody will say, let me just give you something for being a fine girl, and boom, they'll credit 50 or 100,000 into your account. It is nothing like that here. Any money you get, you're literally working for it. Like you're working for any money you have in your account. Okay. And another thing is that while working, you only get paid for what you worked for. So I know back home we are being paid monthly, right? Most of us are being paid monthly, or sometimes we are being paid weekly, and we are not being paid according to the amount of hours we work. So here you're only being paid for the amount of hours you work. If you like work only 30 minutes, that is just what you're going to be paid for. If you like work 5 hours, that's what you're going to be paid for. If you work 10 hours, 12 hours, that is what you're going to be paid for, right? There is nothing like, oh, I came to work today. Normally you've been booked for, to work the whole day. You've been given that shift to work the whole day, and along the line you've like worked 5 hours and you're like, oh, I don't feel good, I need to go home. You clock off and you expect they're going to be paying you for the full day. No, they are not paying you for the full day, my dear. They're only going to pay you for the amount of hours you work. So that is how it is. So that's why I'm going to send this warning. In fact, it is a warning and an advice at the same time. If you have anyone abroad who is giving you or sending you money, no matter how little, no matter how much, you should appreciate them, because that is hours they have put in, hours of work they put in to work for that money and send it to you. And if you know how work is here, now working here is not like what you have back home, like, oh, you're just going to be in the office, you're just going to be sitting pressing your phone. No, that is not how it is here. Here you require to work for that money you're being given. There is no avenue for you to play with your phone. There is no avenue for you to just walk around and be gisting, doing nothing. You only can do whatever you want to do at your specific break time, and those break time are just 30 minutes in between. 30 minutes. Sometimes you have only 2 breaks in a whole day. Sometimes it could be 3, depending on your company's policy. So let's say in a full day shift of 12 hours, you can have only 1 hour 30 minutes, which is 30 minutes in between. And you must not exceed those 30 minutes in between. You get it? So there is no avenue for you to play around, sit around, gist around. No, you must be doing the work. So imagine when your kind of work requires you being on your feet. Like my job, I'm always on my feet. So imagine me standing for over 10 hours on my feet, and I've made that money, and someone say, hi, please, can you please send me this? And I send them, and I'm like, this small thing. Do you know what that means, guys? That is not nice. I don't know if you understand and get the gist of what I'm saying right now. So here in abroad, the job here is not easy. It is not easy, because you're going to do the job you asked to do, because if they find you not doing what you asked to do, what you're meant to do, you're going to be fired. So that is just it. I don't know how else to say this, but trust me, work here is intense. It is intense, and nobody's giving you money from anywhere. You're abroad here, all the money you spend, get a house, get a car, whatnot, give yourself the life you want. You get to work and earn that money yourself. Nobody's giving, except if you have families back home who are supporting you, like sending you money. That is only when you can say, oh, somebody sent me money. But if you don't have anyone giving you money back home, if you have people who are expecting you to give them, then trust me, it is gonna be a lot on you, because you're gonna have to work a long hours of work to be able to achieve that. So I hope I have touched one or two on that point, and some of you have learned something from that. So let's proceed now. Quality of friends. Now, first of all, let's go to friends. Is it easy to make friends here? Well, it depends on your circumstances. It could be easy, it might not be easy. So being here for 1 year, I've noticed or I've experienced that you can have friends if you come here as a student, because you get to have course mates, you get to have classmates you can interact with, and you get to know them, right? So that is one way you can make friends. And in fact, that is the only way I know I have made friends. People I was in class with, I studied the same program with. They've been nice people and I love them so much. If any of you are watching this, I love you guys so much. So yeah, that's one way you can make friends. But aside from that, can you make friends outside of the school environment? I would say it depends on the community or the environment you find yourself. So I don't know what denomination you are in terms of religion. You might find friends from your religious services or your religious places. Maybe you may, but can you find friends from your job? I wouldn't say yes, I wouldn't say no in your job, because at the end of the day, what I've noticed here is a lot of people are just focused on doing the job here. People don't make friends here at work. Everybody just gets your job done and I'm off. That's the vibe I get here. Honestly, I'm not even gonna cap, I'm not even gonna lie. Everyone just wants to do the job, and after that we are off. Most time you don't even have the number of your work colleagues. No one wants to give out their numbers. Yeah. So that's how it is. You don't really make friends that much after school. At work, you don't want to be making friends at work, because sometimes they take it the wrong way. So that is why everyone is just being what's the word? Everyone is just being professional. Yeah. Just do your job. Let's crack on with our jobs and go to our various houses. At the end of the day, we only came here to make money. That's the mindset. So let's crack on with it and make our money and go home. So can you make friends at work? I would say no. Now, quality of friends. So let's say you've made friends at work or at school. Can you maintain those friendships? It is difficult, because at the end of the day, everyone have their jobs, and everyone have different time routines, different times schedules for their jobs. You might be off work today, your friend might be going to work, your friend might be off work and you are going to work. So how do you balance that? How do you have quality time for yourself and your friends, right? It's difficult. Now, another instance in terms of friendship is that most people here I've seen, I'm not gonna mention people or mention where anyone is from, but I'm just gonna be generalizing, okay? So I've noticed people here are not so friendly. They are not so friendly. Yes, I say that. They might look friendly, but they are not friendly. So that's going to take me to my next point. Find yourself in Canada. It's easy to integrate into the culture, respect everyone, be polite, be nice, right? Say your hellos and all that. Canadians are really good at that. They can hold the door open for you. They can help you, you're trying to lift something up, they can give you a hand to help lift your things. They are nice, like super nice, but are they friendly? I wouldn't say they are friendly. So I don't know if any of you have come across this. I would say it's a superficial sort of friendliness or niceness. My fellow Canadians, no, I'm not a Canadian yet, but Canadians, I've noticed Canadians, like I mentioned, they are super nice, but I feel the friendship they give you is superficial. Like they're gonna give you that that fake smile, and that is just to appear nice at the front. It's difficult to make friends here. I don't know if you understand what I mean. But yeah, I mean, it's different for us back home, because back home in Nigeria, we are more about community, we are more about closeness, we are more about unity, we're like family. But here is a bit different. Everyone minds their business. No one wants to get in your business. Fine, most of them are quite nosy. They want to know everything about you. They want to know what you do for work. They want to know why you came here. They want to know everything about you. but it doesn't mean they are really, really interested in you to be friends with you. So that's another thing you need to understand with the Canadian culture. They're going to ask you a whole lot of questions about you. It does not mean they are really interested in you. I know we confuse that a lot, because back home in Nigeria, if anyone is asking you personal questions like that, you feel, oh, this person wants to know me, oh, this person is interested in me. But it is different here. They just like asking questions. Sometimes it's a way of breaking the boredom or the quietness between you both. They're just going to be throwing you questions, asking you questions. It doesn't mean that they are really, really interested in you, or that they love you, or that they want to be friends with you. No. That's what I noticed from them, and that's what I say, they're not really friendly, and it's a superficial sort of niceness. I don't know, I could be wrong, but this is what I've experienced since my 1 year of living here in Canada. Okay, so let's go to the next point we're going to be talking about. And we're going to be talking about food. Now, is food cheap here? Food is not cheap in Canada. That is what I've experienced. Yes, that is what I've noticed. Food is not cheap. In fact, food is expensive here in Nova Scotia. Food is expensive. Don't let anyone deceive you. Food is expensive here. But will you have access to different types and quality of food? Yes, you will. You will have access to different kinds of food, fruits. You will be able to eat a balanced nutrition based on your, on the amount or the money you have, based on your own budget, based on your money. But food are not cheap here. Food are quite expensive. But you're going to be exposed to different varieties of food. If you have the money, you can eat different food. Like the amounts we buy, I heard the amounts they buy is like strawberries, because I love strawberries a lot, and blueberries. So for those who have been here for some time, they said it was way cheaper then, but now you can like buy a bag of blueberries for $6 now, $6 something cents, and that is minus tax. So when tax is being added, it's going to be $7 plus. And they said years back it was just $2 or $3 at the most. So you can tell the difference. And that is just example of blueberries. Now, if you talk about African food is very expensive here in Canada. I'm not even going to lie. But for those of us who have an African background, who were raised and brought up in the African world, and we're only used to the African food and nothing else tastes good in our mouth, for those of us, it's a challenge, because we have to spend more. Personally, for me, I only eat African food. I only eat the food I'm used to. It's recent I tried to incorporate the Canadian food, potatoes, and some other veggies and fries, like vegetables, and I recently started incorporating that, sometimes to save cost of my African dishes. But food is expensive here, so if you're coming newly here, be prepared for that. It's not as rosy and sweet as you think it is. Let's go to the other point. I don't know if these things I'm talking about are all cons, but I feel there are some pros in it as well. This video is a bit too long, so I think I'm gonna cut this or make this video into 2 parts, part 1 and part 2. I don't want it to be too long on each part, so I'm gonna end this particular video here, and I'm gonna continue and the part 2. So you all watch out for part 2. I'm gonna be putting out the part 2, but please, I want this video to go far, because I know I'm putting out quality, important content you all need to see here. So that being said, this is where I'm gonna end the part 1, and we're gonna proceed with the part 2 in another video. Talking loud and lady, you know what I'm talking about, 'cause